All right, what's up, everybody? I'm going to go ahead and pull off this little asset here as we figure out how to get all the starter videos and everything up and running. Let's jump into this and see if we can walk through and get everything we need up and running for today to walk through what we need for getting you guys set up in session 4 of the Lead Ignition series here. Couple big things that we've got. Looks like YouTube didn't connect right away. So we might be a little bit slow to announce it to you guys. We'll see if that pops up, and then if not, we'll get this recorded and get it out to everybody as we go. A little bit, things learned as we get moving. I'm going to go ahead and actually just move this screen over, and then one of the big things that we're going to integrate with today as we go through is with HighLevel and getting yourself set up and ready to go. So here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to share my screen. And let's go ahead and add the screen in for you guys. We're going to share this up. And then let me just hit myself on Do Not Disturb so I stop getting all slacks from David. Let's see here. We got the window right here. And we should be able to see this as we get in. Awesome. All right. So a couple big things today as we get in. This will be pretty, quick, dirty for however we're going to get everything going. We should be able to go into the community and see that we're live right now, so we're updating all of these inside of the calendar. We'll schedule another one for next week to kind of go through any Q&A for what anybody has as we get in, but it'll be in the school group calendar. If you're not sure how to get in the school group, let me go ahead and give you guys, if you're watching this and just happen to catch this on one of our YouTube channels, let me go ahead and I'm just going to put the link into the chat overall in the comments, and then you can go ahead and grab that and get in. One of the couple of big things that we're going to cover today as we get in is go back through what we talked about in the last couple sessions. And this is really, the defining moment of connecting and pushing those leads from Leadsly into the HighLevel account from there. And we also talked about last week, we also talked about going through and setting this up so that hold on a second, I got a dog barking outside. Let me close my window real quick. All right, sorry about that. Neighbor's dog is barking. So going through and talking about the visitor intel, right, and having this up and running so that somebody is in the system, getting reached out to you for cold email. You happen to see the visitor site, maybe they didn't fill out the form, and then taking things to the next step from there. So what we did was we talked about creating a snapshot last week. So I'm going to walk you guys through that as we go through. We actually have the HighLevel snapshot already built for you in here. So let's go ahead and pull this in. And as you can see here, the snapshot is already in the account for me. So I've got 2 different setups. I've got the visitor Intel Pixel, visitor to my site from there. And then the other one is I've got the visitor Intel Pixel for the small, medium business for the cold outreach, right? These are the 2 big things that we want to have for ourselves. So I can actually do it where I'm reaching out to a business, telling them about what our visitor Intel Pixel can do. And then the other one is, hey, look, you've actually visited my site. I noticed that. How would you like to have this for you and your business as well? We make it real clean, simple, and easy to be able to go through those flows. So I'm actually going to walk you through what that looks like right now. For the outreach, you can see that we've triggered a new tag from here. And then let's go ahead and look at the email that's in here. You've got this. Where you can go through and you can set up the initial messaging. Let me do one thing real quick. I'm actually going to take a quick pause and go grab one of the dogs from outside so that he stops barking. So I'll go ahead and put you guys on a quick pause real quick, and then I will be back in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to pull this up. Actually, my audio cuts off when that comes on. So I'm going to pull that up, and I'm actually going to put the little bit of music on for you guys. Give me 1 second. All right. My apologies for that quick little commercial break, if you guys will. We had to go let one of the dogs in because I think the dog next door and mine was barking at each other. So, all right. So, visitor intel. Somebody reaches out to your business. You can see that they've. Let me just zoom in here. You're actually going through. Hold on. In this case, we're actually reaching out to somebody that in this case we're letting them know that we have the potential to resolve traffic that's been to their website. So you can see here I've got all the messaging and everything that's set up, and here you guys are going to receive those snapshots as part of this program, and it's just sitting right here in the back office underneath the high level snapshot for visitor intel. If for some reason you don't want to use HighLevel's snapshot, you can go in and use the Google Doc that we've created here for you that you can go through and you can see all the messaging that's already set up. Now, with this and going through this process, all you're doing is you're reaching out and letting them know that this is a potential offer that you have. And then if they visit your site, you can actually demonstrate that you found their information. And that's in the second workflow that you're going to receive here, which is visitor pixel to your site. And this is a little bit different than the one that we showed earlier, because with this one, what it's going to do is you're actually going to be able to trigger a message that goes out, and based on the messaging that's in here, if they respond or not, they're going to go to one of two different flows. First flow is if they don't ever respond after 3 emails, they get removed from the sequence and they get removed from the account. Second is if they actually do reply, they go through the branch that sends them a sequence that is a conversation that if they keep replying, it moves them further down the path, or you can stop this at any time, book them on a demo, and move from there. This is what we're using right now. Do a little bit of outreach for the overall visitor intel. And we've actually tested this against a couple other companies. I think I mentioned this on the call on Monday. Maybe I haven't. But if you look at the call on Monday, what we talked about is we actually are able to get a pretty good resolution rate compared to some of our competitors. I actually matched this on some of my clients' sites of other folks that can put a visitor intel pixel or a visitor resolution pixel on their site. And we actually had a 2.5 times better match rate than what that company has. And we were paying basically what you guys are getting Leadsley for a year, almost per month right now, which I thought was pretty interesting from there. But all of that information, if you want to put it on a Google Doc, is in there, or you want to grab it from the Google Doc, is in there, and it's also set up inside the workflow. Now, one of the big key things for today to go through is to make sure that you have automations that help take your cold outreach and turn them into booked calls and hiring and setting up a system. The biggest thing that I want to cover today as we go in and go through is making sure that you connect Leadsley to your high level account. And there's 2 simple things that you need to get to be able to connect it with their new private key. We just implemented this last week. They've actually changed some of their security, a couple other things that they have inside of the system. So what you do is you're going to grab the location ID here. Go ahead and copy that. This is going to be key. Each location has its own location ID underneath your settings, which would normally be on the bottom left. And then you just go to the top, you go to business profile. And then when you go in to your dashboard for Leadsley, you go to settings and API configuration. You've got your public and your private location key. You can go ahead and put in that location, and then you're going to put in your API key as well. So I've got my new location ID here, and then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go into where are the private integrations. There we go on the left-hand side. Actually, it's just to the left of my head here. So let me just remove me. Go to private integrations. Actually, I already did this earlier. I did a demo. You're going to create a new integration. Let's call it live demo test. Click on next. Tell it the scope. All I'm going to do is put in contact record. So view contacts, right? View and edit the contacts. Click on create. It's going to give me a code from here. That's quick and clean and simple for us to now go over into Leadsly, type in my API key, and then I hit save. When I do that, I click test. It'll test green. I'm not going to do it because I forgot this is actually an account that we are testing with right now. Actually, I can actually do it on this one. This is my demo account. I can click on save. I can click test API key, and then basically it has been validated. So now when I'm going in and I'm looking at all of my leads and everything in the contact records here, I have the ability to take this lead and I can just upload it right to HighLevel. We're adding in some filtering and sorting this week where you can, go through and you can do more than just, the first page of all of these, right? You can push them to the webhook, which we'll talk about the webhook here in a second. But you'll be able to go through and you can select the leads and then push them right into HighLevel based on the search that you've got. In addition to that, with our webhooks and tags, you can go in, you create a webhook category. So I've got my demo account. We'll just use this one for here. I'll just see what it is. Demo webhooks status is good to go. So let's just create a new category, live demo test category. It's going to be a webhook and then click on create. Now I've got my live demo with you guys. I'm going to create some tags. We're going to create a tag. So demo tag live. And then the tag type is going to be a HighLevel, right? Is what we're going to be using in this case. And then, so I only got one custom. Oh, I'm limited to custom tags in this account. So I've got my custom tags that are set up, but I can basically set up my different tags for what we want. And I guess I've hit my limit on those tags from here. In addition to that, you can see if I want to create a webhook for this, which is where it's going to be pushed. I go to demo. I select a category. I do live demo. I can select my tag. We'll just go, webhook tag from here. Status, and I put the URL that I want to send it to. So if I want to send it something other than HighLevel, I want to send it to Zapier, I want to send it to HubSpot, something like that, I can put this URL right here, TP, and let's go, // just call it google.com. It will save that webhook, right? So now I have the ability to set this up. We did it with another API system as well earlier. What this allows you to do is to set up little webhook URLs, your different categories and your tags. You want to match the tag in our system and create a tag that is matched inside of HighLevel so that when you send those leads over, you could actually go through and you can look at the tagging that you've got from there with the overall contact records. I'm not going to pull up the contact records. This is actually a live account for some of our cold outreach. All right. So that's some of the easy things that you can do to be able to get this up and running and set up where you're then pushing over those leads from there. I would not worry about anything else once you've set this up other than going in, taking your leads and then pushing them into that HighLevel account. Now, one of the really cool things about Leadsly is with setting up your webhooks or your tags, which would then push those on, is with your workflows. So if you go into a workflow and you're scheduling a monthly search, or you're catching all your high intent leads, or maybe you're doing your visitor intel leads, sorting them, you can then send them on to any integration. And then you can set up the different tags that you've got from here and push them on. So what this allows you to do in our system with the workflow, like what we've talked about on the sales calls and through the process, is you want to do the 4 S's. You want to schedule the system to run, have it search, and then sort those leads based on what you're looking for qualification wise, and then send them. So if I'm running this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, in this case, we're having it run weekly. Let's just have it run daily, right? We're going to run it daily every day. I don't want to do high intent leads. I'm going to go through, actually, we'd probably do our high intent leads for this point, right? And anybody that's a roofer looking for, set up, I can click save. I can sort those leads from there, depending on what we want. and then I can push it on into my high level. So it's quick, it's simple, and it's easy. And now it's automated for you going through that process. So that's the big stuff on the webhooks as we go in. So a couple comments that came in. What's going on, Romas? Nice to see you as we go in. So looks like he's on a phone. So cool. That's awesome. He says hi as we go through. Awesome. So those are the big things that I want to cover on the little follow-up call this week. Really having the conversation, getting it going, triggering is going to be taking those leads from, let me go ahead and take this off, remove. The biggest thing here is now getting it set up so that you are getting those leads from Leadsly and putting them into some sort of outreach system. Because if they're just sitting there, they're sitting in a museum, they're static, they're dead. You've got a graveyard, right? But when you put them into a system or a software like HighLevel or Instantly or one of the other cold outreach platforms, a Smart Leads is another one, going out there and pushing them in there, you can start to do your outreach and get things going, be able to have that conversation and make things sure everything works for you. That will help you build a predictable pipeline inside a HighLevel. You've automated some of the sequences. You can now, if you are, part of the AI system inside of HighLevel, you can then use some of the AI agents and automations to start having conversations and things like that. But the biggest goal is I want to show you how to sort and find and then move those leads from Leadsly into your HighLevel account today using the webhook. And then that's going to help you start the conversations. Now, some of the biggest things when it comes to having conversations with those leads is don't try to be salesy. Don't try to be pushy. Try to be inquisitive. Like, what are they looking for? What are their pain points, right? You've reached out to them. Maybe they responded. I get a lot of cold outreach every single day, either for the YouTube channel or on my company email that isn't really public. It's just on my LinkedIn account. People scrape it and add me to these automated outreach campaigns of, hey, do you need a closer? Hey, we noticed this, or can you want to buy backlinks from us, right? But by having a conversation with your leads that is value-based, focused on the benefits they're going to receive, they're more likely to respond. So I do respond to some of them and I ask, and a lot of times I'll be like, oh, sure, right? Send it over. And I get nothing in response, like ever, which I think is kind of interesting. Like, oh, cool. You want to send me a report? Hey, you want to send me an example? Send me a demo video? Sure. And then I get nothing back. So just responding and having those conversations is going to help you. HighLevel is going to be helping you manage that in the conversation inside of their actual dashboard. You can actually manage the conversations, email, phone, text message, whatever it is, send your notes, and then that will help you build and create a system that you can eventually put a salesperson in, maybe an AI agent will work them towards a trial or a demo. We talked about early on in the first lesson of getting this set up and giving you guys something of value that you can offer is 10 reviews in 10 days. And I actually had a sales call yesterday with somebody that was asking me, hey, look, I'm a brand new agency. How do I get started? What do I need to do? And one of those things for me was come up with a simple offer. It just gets your foot in the door that a business owner can understand. And for us, that was 10 reviews in 10 days because we actually do it. We are doing our outreach. We're seeing great response from a lot of different niches that we talked about in session 2 to be able to go through. Now, all you need to do is plug in and set up the system to be able to get going. And that will create an AI lead generation system for 2026 that'll keep you moving from there. So YouTube's not working. Had to click the link below to find the chat. Interesting. Okay, you might need to subscribe to be able to comment from there. Not sure what's going on. And I think for some reason it wasn't connected to my YouTube account today as well for this call. So we will get this recorded. We actually have less people than we normally do. So I'm thinking because it's the second call this week on Thursday, YouTube for some reason either dropped the session or something happened between StreamYard and YouTube. That's on me, but we'll get this up in the members area and then I will schedule a call for sometime next week for you guys as well. That way we can kind of like recap this with the bigger group and then to go through from there. So With that being said, today's a little bit shorter of a session because it was just, walking you through how to get the private key set up for your HighLevel direct integration with Leadsly. They updated it, probably a little bit more security and easier to use type of key. I don't know the story behind why they had, two different keys. They had a public and a private, but use the private key. It seems to be a little bit. Well, first of all, it's newer, so it means it's probably a little bit more secure. Or they are going to potentially even get rid of the public key, for all I know. I haven't looked at their roadmap, but that's what we've created for you guys to be able to take the leads from Leadsly, put it into your HighLevel account, and you can start the outreach from there. If you guys have any questions, put them in the school group in the community. DM me, or you can just use our support channel, which I'll go ahead and put that up right now. Just support at jeffhershey.com for now. We're going to launch a new desk for Leadsly here when we do the public release of Leadsly. But since you guys are in before anybody else and you're part of my group and my crew, you guys can just use that and we'll be able to make sure that you are up and running. Apologize for the YouTube hiccup today for those of you guys that are watching this late or didn't catch it. Obviously it did affect the call because there's less of you on. So we'll kind of recap some of this on the next call and then make sure you're good to go. So we'll end this one a little bit sooner than normal today, just to make sure that we get this recorded up and then that there aren't any other tech issues that we need to cover from there. So with that being said, have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you guys all on the next training. I'll schedule it inside the school group. You'll see it on the calendar, and then we'll notify you as well. Take care, and we'll see you guys on the inside. Bye-bye.